What's up, guys? A quick update for fans of Frozen Electronics. I am sorry again, I'm always apologizing that I haven't uploaded more videos, but I've been doing pretty good lately. I did the analysis of the vintage chips. I am actually filming two different videos right now. One is a look at a whole bunch more vintage chips, and the other is a review of a logic analyzer. Yes, I finally have a cool logic analyzer that does decoding, the whole nine yards, sent to me by a very, very cool company called ChronoView. You might remember them. They were on the EEV blog in a mailbag segment quite a few years ago, 2 years ago, I think. And they've done some updates to the software. They actually have a whole new version of the logic analyzer now. They doubled it to 16 channels and doubled the sample rate. Did a bunch of other really cool updates. So I'm working on my review for that. And a couple other things. Another project I'm thinking about starting is because of this amazing girl named Sarah Scott. She's a British girl who, at the age of, I believe, 17, had a stroke while she was in school, if I remember her story correctly. I think she was in class, and all of a sudden she couldn't speak. And of course, you know, if that happened to any of us, we'd be quite, I think it would scare the crap out of me, to be honest. If suddenly I couldn't speak and she was having trouble, of course, moving her face, and you know, the symptoms of stroke. So of course she was rushed to hospital. I'm not exactly sure what they did in regular stroke treatment, I would imagine. But then afterwards, I believe she had Broca's aphasia, which means she had a very, very difficult time speaking. She couldn't associate what she wanted to say with what she was thinking. So those two parts of the brain, the connection between them had been damaged. So she is still an intelligent young woman, has all her wits about her, but she just can't put her thoughts into words. So she's been undergoing intensive speech therapy for the last 5 or 6 years. I've been following her on YouTube for the last year or two, and I went back and watched all her old videos. And she really is an amazing young girl. And I'm going to put the link in the description and also on the video here. If you can afford it. I mean, I usually can't, but when I get paid, I'm going to send some money. She's got a fundraising site because right now she's in Florida undergoing quite costly intensive treatment to help her regain even more of her speech functionality. Now, she's come a long way in 5 or 6 years. But she still has a lot of trouble with basic things like the alphabet, small words like at, it. There was a couple other examples she gave in her recent video. And so she still needs therapy. But this got me thinking. One of her goals has been to help other people with aphasia. And she's had a support group ongoing in Britain for quite a while now. And she has people from all around her area. They meet, I think, once a week. And they talk about how their therapy has been going. And it's just a good social thing for people with aphasia so that they can, you know, use their speech in a social setting, which I'm sure helps quite a lot. Because being able to, when you have time to think about sentences, it's a lot easier. But if you're on the spot in a social situation and you have to respond to a question somebody's asked you, you have to think a lot more quickly. And I'm sure that type of exercise it really helps people with aphasia recover. But I was thinking, one of the big problems there is that speech therapy is not covered under the NHS, or at least that's what I understand. Here in Canada, we're lucky. We have a similar system to Britain where we have government insurance, health insurance. So we don't have to pay for our healthcare, which is amazing. But there's limitations to this, of course. For example, here in Canada, it doesn't cover dentistry. So you still have to pay all your dentistry fees. You still have to pay for glasses and your eye exams. But, for example, if I got hit by a bus and they rushed me to the emergency room and I had no money, they don't turn you away. As a matter of fact, they treat you and take good care of you until you're back up on your feet. And even then, nurses come by your house to check up on you. We have a pretty good system here in Canada. But speech therapy is one of those things that really is essential to your overall health, I believe. Being able to communicate is very important. And the fact that it's not covered really says a lot about how our systems work, that people don't view these things as essential, and therefore they don't get funded. So, if I was able to create something kind of like a tablet, but a cheap, easy to use widget of some kind to help people with their speech therapy. I think it could be really, really powerful and effective. One of the important things in speech therapy is repetition. When you're doing speech therapy, they make you do sentences over and over and over again because you really have to start reconnecting those areas of the brain. It is amazing how plastic the brain is, that these connections can be reformed, and that over time you can overcome these speech problems. But one of the big important things is repetition. Now, in Britain, she was saying, even if you're lucky enough to even have speech therapy in your area that you can pay for or that is partially covered or something, it's only once a week. And I mean, she's come really far in 5 years, but that's 5 years of once a week. If you had a device that you could carry with you, that you would sit down with, 3 or 4 times a day, you increase that repetition rate by a few orders of magnitude. I'm sure the results would be even better. Even if the device was simple, let's say you still went to a good high quality speech therapy session once a week, but every day when you're not at your speech therapy session, even if you're just doing a little bit at a time, I'm sure that would really, really help. So I've been thinking about the design for this. I'm starting to put together a schematic, and I think I'm going to build a prototype, and I'm going to see how it goes. It's probably going to take me a while. I'm not sure if it should speak, because synthesized speech is quite good, but it's not as good as real human speech. And I don't know if that would help or hinder, because it might reinforce bad habits, because the way speech synthesizers work, they don't sound quite perfect. There's a couple little problems with it. Anyway, so that's something I've been thinking about doing. If you think this is a good idea, or if you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them in the comments. And I'm actually going to send this video to Sarah Scott and her mother on their YouTube channel as well, because I'd love to hear their feedback. I actually commented in their most recent video about how well she's doing and how amazing it is. But I wanted to ask them about this, what they think, what are the 3 most important things that a widget like this could do. I know repetition is a big one. I think associating sounds with letters was another one they had talked about. So we could have it, it shows you a letter and then you make the noise. So if a B comes up, you go buh. And if that's correct, it'll go on to the next one. But that would be pretty hard to do in software. So maybe it would be the other way around. It would make the noise buh, and then you have to pick the letter. Something like that. But anyway, if you think it's a good idea, I'd love to hear some ideas. I'm going to start working on some drawings. I'm going to sketch up how it would look, the size, and I'd like to keep the cost really low. That's the hard part. But in order to be effective and to get to the large number of people that need it, this thing can't cost $1,000. I don't even want it to cost $100. It would be great if it could be produced, and sold for, 30 or 40 bucks, which I think is doable with some good hard work. A 32-bit micro, if we got an ARM microcontroller. You can get like the PIC32s, which aren't ARMs. You can get those for, I think, $7 or $8, and that's in one-off. So in quantity, it'd be quite a bit more. The SpeakJet chip from Texas Instruments, I believe it is, that actually synthesizes speech. Those are kind of expensive, but again, the PCB, the case, and the screen, I think I could keep the construction costs under 50 or 60 bucks. If you did, if you worked really hard to keep the component costs down, that sort of thing. And I think it could really work. Anyway, if you think this is a great idea, let me know. Thanks again for watching. Keep an eye out for those new videos coming out, the Logic Analyzer and the vintage chips. I found a whole bunch more vintage chips that I have, going all the way back. I think the earliest one I found was 1973, so pretty cool stuff. Anyway, keep an eye out. Thanks again for watching. Subscribe and like if you liked this video, and suggest it to your friends if you know some people that are interested in electronics as well. All right, take care, and hi Sarah. Hopefully you watch this. Bye.